I guess if we're gonna talk for a second, I should be able to see you, so let's turn the lights up. Let's start right there. There we go. Are you having a good time so far? So, I want to take a second, I want to tell you guys a story. And before I do that, I want to say that I'm extremely grateful to be up here with Mick Mars, Tommy Lee, and Vince Neil. We're extremely grateful to just be alive. And I don't know how that happened. So this is what I was thinking. I wanted to tell you guys exactly why we're all here. So if everybody will just sit down for a second. Sit down, I'll sit down with you. Nothing looks better when seeing everybody sit down. Turn the lights up. There we go. Turn around, look at that shit. I won't name the band, but it's like you're at somebody else's concert. Sitting down. Okay, so this is what I was thinking. The reason that you guys are sitting there tonight, and the reason that I'm standing up here with my brothers from over 30 years is because what I'm going to tell you, and if anything in the chain of events didn't happen exactly the way I'm going to tell you, none of us would be here. None of these songs would have been written, you wouldn't have gotten in your cars to come here, and we surely wouldn't have fucked over 100,000 chicks. Just rounding it off. So this is what happened. It was 1981. I was in Hollywood, California. I was a struggling musician, and I was in a band. And one day at band rehearsal, I looked over at my band, and I just thought, you guys suck. So I quit my band. I didn't have a car, so I walked home. And I got home and I sit there and I thought, there has to be 3 other guys in Los Angeles that think like I do, that want to rip the fucking throat out of the music industry, that don't want to be fucking pansies. Because at the time in Los Angeles, all the bands had short hair and were wearing skinny ties, and it was called New Wave. The Knack. Remember the Knack? Okay, so this is what happened. For some reason, on a Thursday night, I decided to go to Hollywood, to Santa Monica Boulevard, to a club called the Starwood. And when I walked into the Starwood, there was this drummer on stage, and he was kicking the shit out of the fucking drums. I'm really glad that I went there that night. I went backstage to talk to that drummer. He was sitting on the floor wearing girls' leopard skin spandex pants. And his name is Tommy Lee. You remember that night? Oh yeah. So we sit on the floor together. Tommy had 2 beers and I had a rum and coke, and he wasn't old enough to drink. And we talked about what we loved. We loved punk rock, and we loved heavy metal, and we loved these great bands from the 70s that seemed to be dying off. There was no more Black Sabbath, and Aerosmith was on their last leg, and Queen, we loved Queen, but they weren't around anymore. And there was all these great bands, and we said, we want to be like that. And let's start a band together. So we did. We went to my house. Well, it was actually a girl's house, and we started rehearsing there. And we were playing these songs like Live Wire and Too Fast for Love and On With The Show and Starry Eyes and Merry Go Round. And the point is, it was just me and Tommy. And we knew we needed a guitar player. And we looked in a magazine called The Recycler magazine, and it said, loud, rude, aggressive guitar player. If you're serious, fucking call me Mick Mars. Do you remember that, man? So, now you've got story time's not over. You can sit down. I know it's a long story, but it's fucking amazing because I just can't fucking believe it ever happened. So then, we're in that apartment at that girl's house, and I don't remember her name, and that also became a theme for Motley Crue, not remembering girls' names. And we needed a lead singer. And Tommy goes, I know a guy, but unfortunately, he's in another band. And we went back to the Starwood, we went into that club, Tommy, me, and Mick, and out on the stage walked this lead singer in white leather fucking pants. A white leather jacket with white fucking hair, and I never heard a fucking voice like that before. And on top of that, the girls were taking their clothes off and they were just throwing at him. And we went, that's a singer for us. We went backstage, we asked Vince to join our army, our fucking gang. We didn't even have a name yet. And we went to Burbank, California, and we pooled our money together for a rehearsal. One rehearsal, one chance in a lifetime. And I handed Vince the lyrics to Livewire, and he goes, I've got this. And Mick ripped into the goddamn riff. Tommy started smashing on the fucking drums. I picked up the bass, and at that moment, that's why we're here. It was January 17th, 1981. And we love you motherfuckers. And we promise to haunt you for the rest of your fucking life.